This meeting is called to order. If everyone would please stand and sign the pledge and remain standing after the pledge for a moment of reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. And in the season of gratitude, as we reflect on our gifts, freedoms, and our blessings, can we all remember those who are battling illness and their family members and those who are caring for them? Thank you all. Thank you. The first item on the agenda that we need to address is an approval of today's agenda. The chair will entertain a motion.
The agenda.
It has been moved in second that we approve the agenda for today. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. I will give you just a few minutes to review the September minutes, meeting minutes. These have been sent out. And very shortly after, the chair will entertain a motion to approve those minutes if there are no corrections.
I move that we accept the minutes from September 17th, 2024.
A second. It has been moved and seconded that we accept the September minutes of September 17th, 2024. Are you ready for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. At this time, we will accept any public comment. Seeing no members of the public present, we will move on. Ms. Stacy Dubra has a financial report for us, and I will let her have the floor at this time.
We have the September and October financials in the packet. Hoping everybody had a chance to review, but we'll go over them real quick. For September, our checking account, we do have a good event. The budgeted amount for this year, we still have 3 million left that we have to go through. We have our liabilities. And we have those that are restricted, which is our CDs and our reserves. And then, of course, we have our anticipated budget for 2025. So our numbers currently stand at the 17,290. So if we will jump over to the monthly report here, September of 2024. Once again, if you'll look at our interest earned, which is the 30/20 budget, you'll see we got 14,000 again this month. So we are up to 106 over what we planned on receiving due to the higher interest rates that we have on our bank account. Everything else is the basic, monthly amounts that we're getting, the interest rate on the endowments, the Friends donation, we received our first 1,000 from him. We received our, money to, purchase the endowments, add to their current endowment amount from their Friends book sale that they had. Now we'll go on to expenses. Most of September was pretty average. Only really anything I needed to point it out was the phone upgrades began as we purchased our new expense, so that will be at the end. We also started, paying our monthly fee on the payroll system, that we have contracted with a third party to process, and our monthly fees have begun on it, as well as our implementation costs. So everything else is our monthly same old, same old. Does anybody have any questions on September? Have a relatively low September.
I move we accept the September 30th financials.
I second.
On to October. Oh, we need a vote. I apologize. I jumped ahead today.
Any more questions, any more discussion? Hearing none, are you ready for the vote? All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion to accept the financial report for September has passed.
Thank you. I just get excited when I know my numbers are. Well, no, I'm not. I like no.
We get excited too.
Yeah. All right, so we jump over to October. You notice the budget amount has gone down because that was usage for the month. So we're down to 16,691, but that doesn't include reserves that we're not allowed to touch, or endowments that are set in place that aren't spending. So we go over and look at our notes. We do have two revenues to point out. 3055, which is our Friends. We received $4,000 donation for some of the programs that we had implemented. So we were excited for the Friends to help out on the things that we needed. And then on 3075, our E-rate refund finally got processed. So we got our first disbursement of $33,400. I'm so excited. And that was just for our July, August, September, and October disbursement. So we should be getting from this point forward until June a monthly disbursement to cover some of the internet expense. We'll go on to the expenses for October. We have our basics, our salaries, our utilities, our telephones, those are the basics. The ones to point out this year is our insurance, 41.6. And you will see that our number for this month outpaced our budget. And that is because we've had an increase in our rates on the buildings and an increase in the rates based on the contents that were in the buildings. The amount that they've anticipated replacement costs, they doubled or tripled based on the prices of the items that would have to be repurchased. So based on those numbers, they did increase the value of what we are paying. So we are seeing a big jump. So that, again, 4170 is our ground maintenance. It is a little higher than anticipated due to the drought, the storms that came through and tore up things, and the ice that we've had prior in the year. So we've had to do multiple replacements of dead plants and upkeep and extra cleaning that is outside the normal service. So we are looking at surpassing our monthly fees and our budgeted amount. But we do feel that maintaining our buildings and maintaining our grounds and maintaining our equipment is a high priority. So we did go ahead and fix what needed to be fixed. Our ground maintenance also does include like sprinkler systems and repairs of those little pieces in the yard that because they get rusted, they get kicked over, they get run over with lawnmowers, so those end up being replaced, and we want to keep those functioning. So we are a little higher than we anticipated. The only other one I have is the liability, which is my 2002, and that was that E-rate. And we do have credit on account now due to the fact that we received our disbursement. And if you look on the balance sheet on the front, that liability is listed under AP credit. We now have based on the E-rate we just got and the credit that I had on account in multiple accounts, we now have a credit of $51,000 sitting there to help us cover the expense of our internet for the rest of the year. So, any other questions? Because those are the only out of the ordinary things I have. Sure.
Was there a mistake that you left off the year-to-date section of October? I see on September, but I see the year-to-date month on October.
Yes, it must have printed on separate pages, and I can get a refreshed one out to y'all after that. Sometimes those columns decide to expand and kick things off the page, and I will fix it.
Sure.
Are there any more questions? Any more discussion? If not, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the report for the financial report for October 2024.
So moved.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded that we approve this report for October. Are you ready for the question? All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Cooper. We will be hearing more from you later. Moving on to item number 7 on our agenda, Ms. Reach Harper will present her director.
Good afternoon, everyone. I sent the director's report to all of you. I'm hoping that you had a moment to read it. In case you haven't, I'll give a brief summary of what we have completed some much needed repairs to our HVAC systems. Came in with those that were having some issues and problems. There was an ongoing, actually baffling situation King Branch with the programming room where there was condensation on the floor in the mornings, and it took a bit of time to get that figured out. But after several attempts at getting that resolved, we have gotten it figured out. It was a venting issue from the way that the system was set up with the pump. So that has been resolved. We're also looking to seeing about getting some roof work done in the coming year and towards the end of this year. As money allows, there are a couple of issues at the booth and with the region as well. end game that we want to have addressed.
And EPA.
Yes, and we'll get to that in the budget, she's in budget, but yes, that's, gonna be with the budget later. We are going to need some roofing, updates and repairs that are gonna be coming in the next year, which, those buildings range in age anywhere from around 8 years to about 15 years, so, we can be planning on having to do some updates in the future. We're also examining some solutions for water fountains. As our water fountains go out, we are putting in filters and have the bottle refill station, because more people are utilizing the bottles, and, that is more common actually than people drinking out of the spigot. Most people are hesitant to do that now, but the refill stations are popular, and we're actually now putting our first one. King was a lucky one, their water fountain had been broken, and so we have now replaced it, with one that has the bottle filled on it. And I'm looking forward to getting to use it tomorrow when I go by there. I'm gonna bring my bottle to see how it works for the first time, because it's now, been past the 72 hours and it's been set up, so everything should be good. We have also been working on the HGH Garden, refresh project. That is being done with the Alexandria Garden Club. Those ladies are working incredibly hard. If you have not had a chance to go by there, I'd recommend picking a nice day and going there. They have put placards with scientific names and common names for many of the plants in the garden. They have been working very steadily to get the garden gleaming and also accessible. We're going to be working on some more pathways and also making things more inviting to the public. We're hoping in the spring we will have a renaming, and it's going to be going back to the old name of Myrtle Grove. And we are going to be having some celebrations there, and then also encourage local schools and individuals to bring kids to, learn about the plants and see the plants there and the names. And it's a really great outdoor educational opportunity, and we're very thankful for the partnership. And then we have, of course, our annual RPL. I don't know how many of you follow us on our Facebook accounts, but as usual, it was a very well-supported initiative, and we have a lot of people who are with it, our community members and our staff members. I have to say, the reigning champs yet again are the King Branch. They went above and beyond. If you have not looked at what they did with a combination of their costuming and they have a lot of fun with it and promoting it in the meantime. So that was excellent. Just a quick reminder, you have your committee assignments. Those are going to be given at the December board meeting, so if you have your assignments for, give those to me before you leave today. Or give them to Kendra before you leave today. Give them to one of us before you're leaving today. So I can make sure that your preferences are aligned. I do have something I would like to get your opinion, that I'll come to at the end of my report, that I'll just put down. I did it last year. I did go ahead and close the Saturday after Thanksgiving as a paid holiday. You all typically set the paid holidays for the year. This would be an unpaid holiday. Our branches are open half a day. We typically see usage because people are with their families or doing other things. And it would help in two ways if we were able to do this again. And I would just like to get your opinion. This does not require a vote, but I would like to get your opinion. If we did this again, we could make it so if we have more flexibility in the schedule earlier in the week and have the coverage is easier to do. And also, we're giving people some more time to spend with their families. And like I said, it's also, reduction in things, small reductions in things like utilities, because we're not going to use the facility to just basically sit there. Because often, I can tell you the Saturdays after a holiday, if the holiday falls at the end of the week, we're not going to see much traffic at all. So what are your thoughts? I'm not thinking on that, and at the end of my Additionally, the State Library of Louisiana has announced that we have several new databases. I'm looking forward to those. Especially they have some options, prep, which is something a lot of people have been asking about. And those are gonna become available, in January. I've been asked to join the committee that will be responsible for the, Louisiana Library handbook, the manual that's in the state. I gave you all the last time that I was part of the committee for that. The hazard whenever you agree to do something one time and it ends up going pretty well is you will be asked next time. I'm really happy to help with it. And I think it's a worthwhile project. We're doing a lot of updates. And also the library was very well represented. We had individuals from who went with me and my husband, and we went to the Louisiana Book Festival and represented RPL there for the Public Library Roundup. It was our first time doing this, and I think we're going to do it again next year because we had a lot of people interest. We gave out a lot of information, the pamphlets that I created about RPL in general, and then also a lot of these stickers. And before we started the meeting, I mentioned stickers and signage were incredibly popular. People, like, their eyes were drawn to it. They came over and started talking to all of us, and it was very well attended. And I think we made some positive impact in inroads and letting people know what their local public. We did have some local folks who showed up. There were a couple of people from Lake County, and there was one lady whose family is all from Boyce who came by, and I was really happy to talk to them. You know, you're in Baton Rouge, you're not necessarily expecting local folks. And then he was just like I was in my book. But I had a special announcement. Mr. Thomas is an LTV program on the 10th of December. At 7 p.m. So if you all are interested in watching, it's going to be one of their arts programs, but he said he has not even been given the full details of what else we do. They told him that we had a prize and tell people to tune in on the 10th of December at 7 p.m. So that's all I have. What are your opinions about the Saturday after that?
You said last year you only closed half the day.
Well, no, we're only open half a day on Saturday.
Oh,
So we'll go, but we're only open just, a period of time. And last year we were closed because we get very little traffic, and it made more sense to go ahead.
I think that's right.
What are your thoughts?
I guess the only, question I would have is how our employees feel about it, or how your employees feel about it, just in case there's somebody who depends on those Saturday shifts, so maybe feel that out, but the concept, I'm totally fine.
I can tell you this, the ones that I've spoken to, and I believe the ones that Renee has spoken to, they have let us know that it is earlier in the week, or even perhaps take some of their floater or vacation time and make that work out, and it works better for their schedule than to have the 2 days off and try to come back in, especially if they're traveling to see family or they have other arrangements. It does seem to make more sense for them. So, thank you for checking on that. Lene, would you agree?
Yes, and 100% of they would be more than happy. We're talking 2 employees for each branch, so you're talking 10 employees, that would be using their time if necessary, but like Celine said, we can always put that time at the beginning of the week and prepare for our closures and things like that. So it works well.
And it actually works well because while we may not see a lot of activity on that Saturday, the Monday and Tuesday beforehand, before people are leaving town, people come in and gather up things, so actually having a little bit more help on those things is better. So that's another advantage. Having that.
So I believe that the board members agree that we can proceed.
Okay, thank you.
I have one other other question. Should we have, a committee sheet in our folder?
You should have received your committee draft for which committees you wanted to volunteer for. I believe you've already. She hasn't. I believe you actually completed it the same day.
Probably did. Okay, hold on. All right then, thank you, Ms. Carver.
You're welcome.
Ms. Lutal, we're going to move on to the direct services report.
Good afternoon to everyone. I don't have much to read again on service. We want to appreciate that with the board members without attitude and gratitude. And then we are just gearing up for the end of the year. My mind is already in 2025, so I'm working out plans and meetings and things like that. So we're doing well. Frankly, we're here. Thank you all for those who do stop in every once in a while and tell them hi. The employees are always excited when they have an employee to stop in. It is. So we're gearing up for next year. So that's all I have. So questions of me?
Thank you. Ms. Brown, we will move on to our human resources report.
All right. Good evening. Good evening. I took the liberty. I know I sent you all an email back on November 14th, but I gave you some envelopes which have the director's evaluation, the accomplishments, and of course I put in the instructional memo so you guys can review it again. So we won't have anyone saying, anything. I won't call you names. But no, I just wanted to make it, easier for you all instead of having to print it out on your computers and so you'll have it. And of course, there's a timeline on the memo. So if you all can have it back to me by the 17th of December, but drop it off or email it to me, please. Then we can, get everything situated for our January, board meeting. Okay, for our personnel committee and everything. My second item is the, ratification of Ms. Maloney Williams. She is our janitorial, tech. She's part-time, she works for us in the evenings, at several of our locations, so we want to ratify her.
The chair will entertain a motion for ratification unless there are any questions. So, it has been moved and seconded that we, accept the ratification of Ms. Williams. Are you ready for the vote? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion for ratification passes.
Do you all have any questions about the director's evaluation? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. We're gonna move on to Ms. Kirby, who's gonna tell us all about programming and outreach.
So, we're in Christmas mode, so, Bookmobile and the Outreach Staff are working really hard on the Santa letters. The window's closed for people to sign up, they're now writing their letters, but the total, as I last heard, was 836, that's where we put all letters. So, they they will go out at the beginning of December, so they're really, it's funny, they're elementary, like, Lauren's writing over here, Keith is stamping envelope. Like they're a station. It's really, and those letters, if you've never had someone receive them, they're very personalized. You sign up and ask, your name and, the names of your pets or siblings. What are 2 things you accomplished this year? So it will say things like, Isaac, we're so proud that you did, make straight A's or whatever. Like they're very personalized letters. So my kids love them, but it's like, and we also have Santa visits coming up. And you can find them in the event guide. Santa will be coming around to most of the branches, and they will give their photos taken. We'll print the picture right there. They can take their photos with them, and always love them as well. And tiny art show. If you remember in October, we were handing out the little tiny art kits. So when you go to branches, look at the tiny art. I think there's some displayed out here at Westside, but every branch has the little tiny art kits that, the displays are out now. So those are a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a fun time. And the teams right now are doing the floor is lava, which I thought was so weird, but it has been so popular. It's just a very active kind of, I mean, that's like Craig sets up Christmas lights with red fabric kind of over it, so it looks like lava, and they just jump from like it's the weirdest thing that they are loving it. It's been really well attended for the teens and older kids, so that's happening. I honestly did not know that worked out. I was like, okay, Craig, I'm trusting you on that, and it's been really popular. But yeah, so those are just some of the things happening in programming. I will say for the book festival, this podcast, everyone had a great time. Laurie texted me a picture and said, you need to up your balloon animal game. Because there were people making these, I can make a dog with a sword. That's it. That's my extent. The best one we have here. But I was way over here like balloon animals for these children have. So I do need to up my game. That's a goal for next year. Yeah. Any questions about programming or outreach?
I can never dress up for that, because I can do an earthworm and a snake.
Yeah, but she's sitting down with people
Thank you, Ms. Kirby. I don't see Ms. Primo.
Mr. Primo is not here today, I will be delivering out.
All right, then we'll move on to item number 11.
So, Ms. Primo, of course, is not here today. And there are just a couple of updates. We have had, some experiences with outages, but those have been either community-wide or region-wide. And those have nothing to do with our service. It's just, a greater AT&T issue. In fact, today, the Glenmora Forest Hill area was completely out, including their cell phone. So that's been, an issue that we've been facing, but that is more, like I said, of a widespread issue that we cannot resolve. But we have been putting in our calls, of course, when that kind of thing occurs. Overall, they've been doing updates and, things have been really well in our IT department.
I called the main office, I think it was Friday of last week, and I kept getting an odd message. That it was a recorded message, but it wouldn't even let me like plug in Kendra's extension or Salisa's extension. And I finally contacted her, bless her heart. She was sitting with a family member who was ill and using Wi-Fi from the hospital to try to get her work done. And I said, what is everybody else doing? And she said they're using their phones, whatever they can do. So AT&T has really been having a problem. And I think Stacey might talk a little about that when we get into the budget. But thank you for that report. But I do see Ms. Buller. So Ms. Buller is going to tell us what's been going on public relations wise.
We have been having a really great time with our attitude of gratitude. The community is really getting involved. I was really excited to see communities, businesses, schools. We've given out, and I think I ordered 800 yard signs, and I think that haven't been out to branches, so they're out there in the community somewhere. Stickers are great, schools and businesses are also participating, but I think because we are community supported, it was the right thing to bring the community in for us to say thank you to you, and please express your gratitude too, because that's the healthy thing to express gratitude, good for mental and physical health, and we want to also thank y'all, because we can't do what we do without them. So we just have a small little token as a thank you for your attitude of gratitude.
For each one of you now.
Fill up your cup in the cup.
So nice. So
Oh, you got it. Okay. But we have a lot of fun and, we have,
yeah.
Gotten a yard sign, I have some here to fill out for you, I have a bunch of stickers, if you have somewhere, work, coffee shop, you visit, anything that you wanna bring in, drop off stickers, we still have, 2 weeks where we can continue to express our gratitude.
This was fantastic. Because I have a lot of friends and they've got their signs and they're doing, it's
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to doing more community initiatives like this in the future. A lot of my research I've done is that is what a lot of public libraries are trying to make partnerships within the community. Community things, that way we get our word out. So as Lene is, I'm already planning 2025. I have some fun things that we want to do, but this was a fun thing to do, and I really think it got the word out about RPL as well as physical things.
So what exactly is on to the next library school? Well, we have the scale, and we love the scale even more, and she's always doing stuff for the school, but at times, maybe we should, like, there's signs a little more, but they're by the library, like, right, we,
Usually the branches, it is up to them to reach out for their communities. The school board, I would love to do that, but because so many have their own little libraries, the school board is kind of tight knit on people coming in. But we've had a lot of success, some of the branches going to their local libraries and skills on the trail of her school, and that's what I was hoping to give the branches another opportunity to go to their schools, or teachers that come in for resource material to say, hey, let's do this, creating avenues to partner more with schools. And I was hoping they'd give a lot of these stickers to some of the classrooms so they could have a little program this month. So that's some of the things I'm trying to find avenues that allow our branches easier to get in the schools and get them aware of the library and what we offer so that they can start becoming.
I bet you didn't have a sign up, drive or something, I think I do remember seeing that, but yeah, she's great, the scale's great.
Yes, they do a really good job with, their schools. So, but yeah, that's some of the things that I'm trying to figure out ways that we can do that, that will want teachers or students or whoever will be able to create our inroads into getting them. Yes.
Any questions for everyone?
Well, thank you for y'all. We really appreciate y'all and everything y'all do.
You made us all smile. We're going to move on to 13, which is old business, and if I may have a moment of privilege, we'd like to welcome Ms. Donna Doyle to the board. And, Ms. Doyle, would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, ma'am, I was born and raised in Gilmore. I attended Gilmore High School. I taught at Gilmore for 33 years. I'm a retired teacher, still in Gilmore. I'm currently a city council member, and last night, and I've been married to my husband, Thomas, for 25 years, and I have one daughter that's in heaven, and I have one daughter that is second-year junior at NSU, majoring in social work, and I would love to work with children in some way in the future. My favorite genre of reading is Christian fiction, and my favorite authors are Karen Kingsbury and Francine Rivers. And I love being involved in the community.
with children, with books, with reading as a teacher. You know, I always tell my students that a book can take you anywhere and, you know, wherever you want to go, whatever, you know, you can get there through a book. And, that, the reason I asked about that is, you know, I would, as a teacher, I know the importance of reading and, getting students excited about reading. And, the more involvement we have, with our leaders in our community, with our, you know, even the town might be involved in some way in putting more, awareness of the library in town. Of course, like I said, we all love Miss Gail. Miss Gail's been around for a long time, and, we all love her, and we're blessed to have her in our town. We are very appreciative of the library.
Thank you very much, and welcome.
Yes.
All right, moving right along, we're gonna get to our new business. At this time, I would like to turn the floor over to Ms. Cox, who is chair of our nominating committee. We have a slate of officers to go on for next. Yes.
I know if I can see. The nominating committee, recommends the following slate to the full library board of control. We recommend Sue Lynn Mickey as president, James Morgan as vice president, June Arrington as treasurer, and Celeste Breach Carter as board official member secretary.
Thank you, Ms. Cox. At this time, we need to take a vote on each office separately. So are there any questions? Any discussion? All right. For president, Ms. Susan Mickey. Any nominations from the floor? Nominations from the floor. Nominations from the floor. Hearing none, all in favor of Ms. Mickey for the office of president, the chair will entertain a motion. It has been moved and seconded that Ms. Mickey is placed in the position of president. Are you ready for the vote? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? I'm sorry. Okay. We have one opposition, but the motion carried. Moving on. Congratulations. The second office is vice president. Mr. Morgan's name has been placed in the offering. Any nominations from the floor? Nominations from the floor. Nominations from the floor. Hearing none, are there any questions or discussion? The chair will entertain a motion. The chair will entertain a motion. I second. It has been moved and seconded to accept Mr. Morgan for the office of vice president. Are you ready for the vote? All in favor? Any opposed? The motion carries. We move on to the office of treasurer. Ms. June Arrington's name has been placed in nomination. Questions or discussions? Any nominations from the floor? Nominations from the floor. Nominations from the floor. Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion.
I move that we accept Ms. Arrington's will.
It has been moved and seconded that we accept Ms. Arrington in the position of treasurer. Are you ready for the vote? All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Thank you, nominating committee. Thank you, officers who have agreed to serve. The Finance Committee also met this afternoon, and I believe Ms. Arrington has a report with the assistance of Ms. Cooper.
The Finance Committee recommends a proposed 2025 budget to the full library of control for the public hearing at the December meeting at the Library Board of Control. Library director prepare and release 2 notices to the town hall as public notice.
Copies are being distributed.
That's why I made it correct.
Oh, she's money, lady. Oh, she is on the money. Literally.
My favorite place to be.
Yes.
You're not fair. All right, we're going to approval of the Finance Committee. I'm going to present the 2025 proposed budget for y'all to review and discuss. And we will take any questions, recommendations, and then present the final one at the next meeting for y'all to vote. Okay? We'll start with the operating statement for the revenue. We received our number for next year from the taxes as of yesterday. So, once they give us the number, we do take out 5% of that number to hold for non-payments that get done. So our expected revenue will be 7.7. We also have our targeted taxes, which are previous ones. We have our state revenue sharing, which I base that on this year's number, as they have not released that number yet for 2025. The interest rate, we did notice, in our financials that we are getting more this year based on the percentage increase. But I anticipate a reduction as of next year on those percentages. So I have increased over the 5%, but under the 5%, so we are estimating about 60,000 on the interest rate. Our branch income is steadily improving since we dropped so much in 2020. But we are not back to 2019, but we are on the steady incline anyway. We have our trust and memorials, our donations. The endowment interest, again, is going to be based on that percentage going down for next year. Even if we maintain a 4 or 5%, that is less than what we're doing now. So I anticipate a smaller amount there. We have our endowment income, our Friends donations. Friends are currently revamping their financials as well, and we have come to an agreement that they will support our programs by just doing donations rather than reimbursements, to make things a little easier on their budgets and on ours. So we anticipate about a $4,000 donation. The endowment, of course, is based on the book sales that they put on every year. So we hope to maintain and increase that so that we can increase the endowment that they can put in. Our Huey Delman grant, we anticipate a small donation this year. We put in the request and we are waiting to hear back, which amount they are going to help us with this year. Our miscellaneous income is, our auctioning off of old equipment and such. We don't do a whole lot of that. The big ticket items were, a couple of the old copy machines that were beyond their years. Maybe the telephones, we're hoping to get those to the police jury to sell off the old system, which is about 20 years old, so we anticipate a lot. We do have our E-rate refund coming in. We are anticipating a couple of the grants for Rapid Breeze and Genesee Steel on our LPT. Those are standard grants we ask for every year. It does fluctuate, and some do maintain and say, yes, we love this program, we're just gonna keep writing the checks. We are happy to take whatever they're willing to help us. And these programs are expanding, and the public is enjoying it. So we hope to continue that partnership. And for the final one, we do have the lovely vehicle carryover. Because as of yet, we have not seen a new contract with the state. And I'm going to bleed and breathe and wait. And eventually, if we cannot get this on board, we will eventually come to y'all to talk about the option of buying full price off the state contract. But this will be the last resort kind of thing. So,
Because we're a big fan of it, I'm sorry to interject, but we're a big fan of it, it's not small savings by using the state contract. For like vehicles, it's anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000. So if you're buying multiple vehicles, it makes a significant difference. So that's what we've been holding out for new contracts, but we just do not have them yet, anything that we would utilize.
Is there anything that as board members we could do, like contact, who would we contact and say, can we get some help with this?
well, for the board, for the contract, the state contracts, who they do business with every year changes. So even if I contacted the people we talked to last year, who said, oh, we're so sorry that contract ended like a month later because we can't get anything. That may not even be the same company that gets it this year. So we're still waiting on that, but that is one of the issues we're having, is getting the merchandise and getting the parts and getting the shipments over. So I'm not sure what contract status is, because we're waiting on the stage for that.
And then in turn, then that makes it so that they are hesitant to establish contracts because of price fluctuation.
But we will keep our eyes on that and keep moving along and watching. And we're going to jump on the board the minute that we see that it's available. We'll be talking and trying to get to it. So we will move forward and on. Our total revenue of expected is 8.268. So we are hoping to do great things. Moving on to the expense side of this. We'll start off with our biggest salaries for our employees. We did include the 3% standard increase, and we set up a leeway for hire. We are anticipating quite a few floating clerks hiring for the year, and then we have a few other positions that are still open. So we've anticipated that as well. So we are at 3.6 at this point on salary. So that is our biggest budget. Attached to the salaries is the Social Security, Medicare, our retirement contributions, and then we have our health insurance. And we had a big jump in that. Our health insurance for next year comes with a 6% increase. And that was after a month and a half of wrangling them down and competing with companies to get them down from a 9% increase. So we are excited to see it 6%, and that's as they look at us. But it is what it is, so this is our anticipation of what it costs us to cover all our current employees that are on the insurance, the anticipation of new hires joining the insurance, and any, employee retiring, moving to our Medicare, retiree insurance. So that is our anticipated rate for that, and it is up and significantly. Our workers' comp is on par, we have the norm refund, we haven't even seen the 5,000 this year, so I'm anticipating about the same for next year on the refund. We're gonna keep that one. Advertising, we did have a few, requests for increase, due to some projects that you will be doing, like some of these projects. So we, moved her up to the 45,000. Utilities, of course, always increasing. So we did anticipate a little bit of an increase there. Our cable was set, the internet, the 4119, this is a big difference from what I have on for 2020. And the reason is because if E-rate fails to go through, I want y'all to be able to see the actual cost of what a year of insurance, of our internet looks like. And it is a big amount. And once we get the revenue, we'll be able to say, oh, this was the cost, this is what they covered for us. So in cash wise, we did this. But again, if we fight with AT&T over E-rates, or E-rate decides, hey, we're not around again, we want to be able to anticipate covering our full costs. And this is it. We are also looking at getting a secondary backup internet for the very reason of if the internet goes down, our phone system goes down, and everything else goes down. And we want to be able to have a backup to keep us up and running. So we are looking at multiple other companies just as a kick-in backup. I'm hoping to be able to bring that to y'all when that becomes available. IT is doing their part and contacting those companies and asking for the cost of that. Our telephone is actually going to remain about the same. We have the new system. AT&T has decided they kind of want to do away with landlines, so they're pushing people into the internet-based. And in order to do that, they're pushing the cost of landlines up. So we are still balancing out on the cost. It's going to be about the same. Our cell phones are about normal. Our hotspots will be going up. The state contracts that they were under have shifted to a slightly higher price contract. So anytime we lose one of our hotspots and we have to replace it, it is going to be on a higher rated expense. So we're anticipating at least a small jump in the cost of those when we replace. The building rent, this does include the voice amount, because we still have that old voice location that we're paying for, and under contract, we are required to give them an increase as of January 1. But at the end of 2025, as of December 31st, we are out of that contract. This is our final year for that. And Johnson will remain our only rent. Everything else we all. So we're going to finish that. Postage. Y'all have seen the increases, and then seen the increases, and then seen another increase. So we as well are going to be getting that as our postage. We do have things going in and out. So I did have to increase the amount of postage we're paying for next year. Our copier lease will be going up because our participation is going up and the price of things are going up. The cost of the cartridges and inks and all that is going up.
A question about that.
That's right.
just for, September alone, the expense was 10,000.
And that is because, our IT department, our PR department, we are doing a lot of things internally on the print jobs. And usually around certain holidays, summer reading programs, those expenses eventually come in. And when we start getting to November, December, we start seeing a drop off of it because we're not putting out quite so much stuff for the holidays because there's not as many people in. January gets really quiet. February, we start seeing the pickup of getting ready. So it'll fluctuate.
I thought that was so.
It was the biggest bit, but it also may be that, we actually didn't get our billing for September until October. And then our October one came in right at the end of October, because they have like a 28-day or 29-day or something like that they do the billing on, instead of 30, 31, whatever. So the cycle of the actual invoice comes in at different times. I think our average right now is about 5,600 or 4,900 on an average across. So I think if we're seeing a 10,000, it's probably more. But on the average, so we're looking at a little bit of an increase in such. So we did bump it up to 60 for next year. Our bank charges are fine, professional fees, the professional fees are for, like Mr. Lee, who does our audit, we have to pay them. They always have a slight increase. We have, one of the numbers that we get on the health insurance retiree number that the state requires that we anticipate, that is on our, that number to hold on to for retirees, so if we all shut down, that we're all covered, health insurance wise and such. It was that really, really, really big number that there was maybe right, maybe wrong, depending on who participates and such, if everything closes. So we have to pay a service for that fee, for them to process all the numbers and stuff to get us a number to present to the auditor and to the state. So I have included that cost in there as well, because we will be required to pay again next year. That particular service we pay on a 2-year cycle. This year, I didn't have to pay for it because I got us in under right before it expired. So we were able to have a 3-year cycle around. So. And that's in nothing. Okay, and then we have the insurance, which of course, we did notice the big rate increase this round in October. So we are anticipating another increase next round, because I'm pretty sure they will go back and revisit properties and say, well, we haven't looked at this property in 10 years, so we're gonna do that now. These contents haven't been reviewed in 15 years, so we're gonna triple it real quick to get you up on par. So we're anticipating another increase. So we did jump us up just a little bit. A lot to cover it. Our regional associated fees are the same, our miscellaneous is the same. Ground maintenance, y'all have seen the result of all our reclaims and refreshes and stuff. We anticipate having to fix other things that we haven't got to, such as some of our sprinkler systems. So we did increase the amount of coverage there. Vehicle maintenance, we do anticipate a little bit more, but not a lot. We are trying to maintain the vehicles that we have as best as we can, keeping our stuff up to date and in good repair right now is where we're at. And we managed to maintain it, so we do want to continue that. The vehicle reserve, we are going to go ahead and add another 100,000 to our reserve for the vehicle, in anticipation of possibly having to buy full price. We want to be able to get us all up and running if we can't get on contract. So we want to be able to cover especially with some of our vehicles that we got for 2008. We anticipate eventually it breaking to the point that we can't repair, which in turn requires another vehicle. So we're gonna start looking at getting the expanded ones that we need, and then start replacing some of those older ones. Because we do have a 2008, we have 3 of them are 2009. Yes, and the next one up is the 2011. So our newest ones were a couple years, 2018, 2017 is our youngest. So we do anticipate trying to deal with that. Our HVAC maintenance, so far, we are maintaining the repairs, we're keeping things up to date. We are doing the replacements as needed, so we are actually in good standing. But we are going to maintain that 50 for the possible breakage. And we want to maintain our and our community space. So we are going to keep that there. Pest control, janitorial, security. Our security equipment, we did have to increase based on the cost of the cameras and the DVD players or services. Just the equipment alone has doubled in price. So one camera blows out, that's a $500. So we're trying to maintain the coverage and keep up with the results of storms and lightning strikes and whatever ends up happening. Since the cost of it is easily doubled, we did double the budget to be on our safe side. Office supplies, building supplies, normal. Building maintenance. We did double our building maintenance because of our roofing issues. We are making our locations, our buildings, our landscaping, anything that deals with maintaining this space a priority this year. So we are gonna make all the repairs, we're gonna fix any roofing problems, any window problems. We're going to face those and get them taken care of. Because we want these buildings to be standing, we want them to be available for use to the public. And during the storm, if they happen to be in the building, it happens, we want this to be a safe space for them to go and stay in. So we are going to make this a priority. We go to vehicle gasoline, we did increase a little bit because we have seen prices go up. We want to maintain being able to make those vehicles run. Software, toner, automation, those will be the basic increases for our standards. The repairs, miscellaneous. Auto equipment went up just a little bit from the pricing. Sierra is the same because we did do a bundle which gave us discounts to be less than what it was this year. But just in anticipation of being less than fee, we did go ahead and maintain what it was this year. Travel, employment screening. Our employment screening will get increased a little because we are including our NDRs. We are including the Indeed when we post these jobs out a little further than just being on the website or word of mouth. We are including the business side of giving them support from other services. We also will be working on the fingerprinting process to get everybody into the state database. So that costs us a little money, and we do background checks on every new employee. So the cost of those has been plugged into this. We have our continuing education and our travel did increase a little bit. We did increase it and then decrease it based on some of the things that we would like our employees to be able to do. So Lisa, do you want to present for that part?
Yes, well, we made some adjustments to that. Initially we had wanted to do a little bit more because the centennial anniversary for the Louisiana Library Association is this coming year, and there is going to be a large conference, which is also going to be partnered with the Southeastern Library Association Conference in Baton Rouge. And we have quite a few staff members who are interested in attending. We also have a group of our employees who are very active in the Louisiana Support Staff Association, and who provide, not only, they go there and get their own education, but they help to do setup, they help to organize, help education for others. So, we want to make sure that we can support those efforts, and we can also support, attendance at different professional, development events during the school year. So we want to make sure that we have enough in there. We did scale it back a little bit from what Stacy and I had initially planned, because we saw that there were several things that were going to be going up in cost, and so we figured it out, did a little bit of, adjustment there. But this should be adequate for what we.
All right, and then we go back into dues and subscriptions. We have basic dues that we have every year. We did cut a few and add a few, so that changes, but it's still basically the same as what we had this year. Staff day, we have been very conscientious about that and maintaining that budget and staying under. So we are going to maintain that same amount to try and keep us in a fun but low-key budgeted item. I love our staff. I do. As Young as You Feel, Refuge Reads, a lot of our teen programs and Tales in the Bayou, those were requested to remain the same or go up just a little bit. So we did maintain those programs. We'd like to continue those. The retirement system state fee that we have, that particular fee is a lot higher than it was this year, because of the fact that it's based on the amount of ad valorem tax we get. And since we had a bigger increase than we expected on the ad valorem, we also anticipate that retirement to be increased as well, because I based it on the percentage of what we paid this year versus our ad valorem. So that isn't a big amount that we don't get to question. It comes straight out of our ad valorem tax, and they tell us, here we go. We took it. And I said, okay, prove it to me. And they give me this whole list of all the things that the fire departments, the assessor's office, and all the programs that they're putting money towards to help fund those particular retirement systems. So it is what it is. Our whole list of programs here, those are pretty much the same. The branch shelving, we did add year number 2 worth of withholding so that we can, next year, 2026, we'll be able to have the money to purchase the rollable shelving that we did invoice so that we can start upgrading some of the other branches. The movie license, you'll see that looks new to some of us, and it was around when Jimmy was around before 2020. We have decided that is a worthwhile thing to get back into, to being able to do movie nights, to be able to put up on the screen the little kids shows while they're in here, to do some programs and then have the matching cartoon to go with the story time, whatever we can do. But we do have to pay the licensing to the companies to be able to put this out in the public. So we will be paying for that fee so that we can do those programs. We did go ahead and get that started and get the ball rolling, so we will be effectively up and running for January 1 for that. We have our Fall Festival, Creative Con, ACH Grounds, STEM programs, all of those we pretty much maintained. One of the ones that we did increase on programs was that Grab and Go Crafts. We had $1,000 this year, and the public loved them so much, we had to reach out to friends and ask them for money. They gave us money. And still, we have patrons grabbing them as soon as they come in and they go right back out. And we're trying to keep up with them. So we are going to increase the amount of money there and hopefully we'll be able to maintain and keep up with the cover on that particular.
Those are in high demand because they're utilized by a lot of homeschoolers. They're also utilized by a lot of families who come in that may not have the opportunity to attend sports on our attend programs in the brand. But they can get the matching books and then take home the grabbing their kit. So they have become increasingly popular. I just wanted to give that little caveat.
Some of this is, grants that we've asked for. We did decide that since we got a little bit of extra ad valorem, that we are going to apply that to purchasing of more material, including the electronic one, as we are having a little trouble keeping up with public demand. So we are going to add a little bit extra and give them some room to move forward with purchasing a little bit more and giving the public a little bit more access that they want. We have the AACHC, we're going to do 6,000 for it. Our payroll system, we are going to have our monthly fees, since we have now started this third-party processing, our monthly fees. We have a line for that. We have the 75th anniversary of Martin coming up, and we are going to be promoting it. So we want to have money in the budget for that. We are also looking at, as well as the building maintenance, we're going to do some branch furniture maintenance and refresh and repair and replacement. So we did increase the budget an additional 15,000 so that we have some room to do that purchasing price. So, in both the expenses and the revenue, we are not touching our fund budget here, which I'm excited about. So our numbers balance, the total operating expense balance out with the expected revenue. So now that I've presented it, y'all will have the opportunity to take this home, look it over, ask any questions now if you have any recommendations, let us know. And then come the next meeting, y'all can review it and decide.
We have a public hearing then, if we approve we all would make a motion and approve the motion for, setting the public hearing for the budget of our
So the floor is open for any discussion or questions at this point. Hearing none, then I think we can move on.
The Finance Committee recommends the proposed 2025 budget to the full Library Board of Control for public hearing at the December meeting of the Library Board of Control, and that the library director prepare and release 2 notices to the town hall as public notice.
I just want to say, I really appreciate the adjustment for the.
Our biggest challenge we had was the fact that we got the ad valorem number yesterday at 2 p.m. So it's a little hard, but even if I can't give you an accurate number, I can give you an estimated number based on the current year, and then we can make an adjustment as the minutes actually come.
Thank you so much, Ms. Boubrad, for all of your work. Do we have a motion? No.
We do not have a motion.
Do we need one? The chair will accept a motion to review this proposed budget and to have an adoption set at the December meeting.
I so move.
I second. It has been moved in second. Are you ready for the question? All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, then we will proceed with the proposed budget for 2025, that after you have had a chance to look at it at home, and then we will come back at our December meeting, present it to the public, and vote on it at that time. Thank you, everyone. The next item on our agenda is the discussion and vote on the request for reconsideration on the title Cross My Heart and Never Lie. And I'm going to turn the floor over at this time to Ms. Hall, who chaired that committee.
We all have a copy of our request and the minutes from our meeting on November 4th. And the request was wanted to restrict this book to another higher level, yes. And the reason was multiple depictions of naked girls. The book was reviewed, and we never saw any naked pictures of girls in the book. So the committee recommended that the book remain where it is. So we're presenting a recommendation to the board in accordance with the library policy to recommend that the book will remain as is.
I move that the book remain as it is. Okay. Any discussion?
Can I say something? So I think on a broader scope, I'd like to see this, to make sure that we do this properly. This was done, this complaint was filled out in the Boost area, which is District C. We don't have any District C representation on this board. So I would propose the idea, if the board's okay with it, in the spirit of fairness, we table this until we at least have a member of District C where this complaint is filed. I think that's fair, and that seat is 2 months vacant. So if we could at least take it for 1 month, I mean, we'll be here next month anyway. To send a notice or at least another notice to the police jury and tell them we would like, or I don't know, how we're going to do it, to remind them of that vacancy.
Okay, so we've had 2 or 3 other recommendations, and it was never a case where the board member had to be from that particular.
I know we don't have to, by all means, we can do it. I'm just saying, this was done in District C, and the people in District C don't have a representative voice on this board.
Okay, so this district, we had one for this library, and we also had one for, she was at this library, but she was exempt from Louisiana. We had a question, but
This is an RS 25, I believe.
Ms. Thomas?
I understand what you're saying, but we had a committee that a board member couldn't do anything but object and us vote over them because we had a committee that saw this book. We looked at this book, we examined it very carefully, and we did not see anything that needed to be moved. So we voted as a committee to recommend that this book stay right here.
so when we created the committee, did we say that we had to whatever library,
Mm-mm. No, it's just a committee like any other committee that we have, on this.
I just recognize that we can vote on it today. We can do it today. There's no rule against it. I'm just bringing up the thoughts that District C does not have a voice at this table right now, or in committee or wherever it is, for a complaint that was filed in District C. If you disagree with it and you want to move forward with this vote without representation from District C, you have the right to do that. But at this time, I'm going to make a substitute motion that we lay this on the table. And as we wait for, an appointment, and District C should be for a couple of weeks. And we should be able to do this next month with a member from District C, just to err on the side of fairness. So I'll make that motion at this time.
So we have a substitute motion to wait until we have a representative from District C. Any other discussion or question?
Not there a second.
That's what I'm saying, we have the substitute motion and we need a second. Is there a second? Hearing none, we move back to the original motion, which was to accept the recommendation of the committee. We had someone who made the motion, that needs a second, to accept the recommendation.
Yes.
It was second, that was carried, okay.
So I speak at this time too on the motion that's been made.
On the first motion? Yes.
So then I guess since we're gonna move forward and we're gonna, vote on this without representation from a large part of the parish, in the section where this was done, I will just give my opinion, probably unpopular one. This, and the reason that I voted against the state, or the way that we set up our policies last time, was because it does leave a loophole for something like this. And I would challenge the board, vote how you want to vote on. So I read about 50 pages of this book. This is clearly a book that is, that's designed to help a young child in elementary school.
Middle school.
The category that it's in is elementary. To help somebody question their sexuality in elementary school. And it talks about, a young girl becoming a lesbian. That's the story. If you haven't read the book, you can read the book, you can disagree, you have that right to. We do have a section in our policy that allows, it says that, that we will make a section for kids based on, their special needs and interests. And I can appeal to that and say, I don't believe it's in the needs and interests, special needs and interests of young children.
Mr. Morgan,
I have
you're
time
talking,
before right now.
that wasn't a complaint. We go by the
I'm
complaint.
replaying my.
Proceed, Mr. Morgan, please.
Like I said, I'm gonna give about another minute to it, and then, vote how you wanna vote, disagree, y'all have that right to do it, just, I want the right to say what I want to say. Let me try to think about something. Yeah, so, vote how you wanna vote, but I don't want you to think that you are not allowed to vote, or that you're bound legally, just because that it's allowed in the broad state law, that you're not allowed to do it, that we're not allowed to move. This board voted just a few months ago to move a book from one section to another based on appropriate. That set a precedent that says that we can do that. So the next question is, where do we draw the line on what is appropriate and what is not? For me, books about drag queens, books about homosexuality, those are not appropriate for our children's section. And it it really bothered me to see that this parent was describing this as being discovered after their child read the book. And I hope that we can establish a place, in our libraries, a small area of our libraries, where, parents can bring their children without having to worry about this stuff. You do have the right to vote to move it. It is not a violation of any constitutional, provision. It's not a violation of the state law. If your conviction is elsewhere, you can vote elsewhere. But this is our decision as a local library board. And so I just wanted to share that, and I'll be voting to move it to adult fiction. I don't need Penguin Books or national organizations to tell me what's appropriate for the children around here.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Ms. Hobbs, you may have the floor.
I thought when we get a request, the request is sent from the director to me, and we go by the complaint, even the last one you're talking about, where we did move it, they stated page numbers and they talked specifically of why it should be moved. You mentioned things about homosexuality, lesbian, but none of that was on the request form. So what do? We go past the request, or we look at the book, read the book, which I did read, and do we add that to the book, or we just go by with what the patron request is?
You want me to answer?
Yes.
Okay. We have the right to do as we please. So we make a motion, which I'll do here in a second. I'll make a sub motion to move this piece, this book, to the adult fiction section. So we're not bound legally to only operate with forms that completely fill out every page number and all that kind of stuff. We can do what we want to do, which again, board members, vote how you want to vote. That's your right to vote. I'm just proposing the idea.
But this is the first time we've been seeing it, so.
This is the first meeting we've had with this book.
So can we vote?
Well,
That's a great idea.
okay, we can
I'll
go.
make a substitute motion that will move this work, from where it is to, adult fiction.
Any discussion? Any questions? Is there a second? Hearing none, the motion fails. We go back to the original motion, which was to retain this particular title in the area, that it has been designated by, for in the library. The chair will entertain that motion.
It's already done on the agenda.
Yes. Has been moved and seconded, so we will keep the book in its current location. Sorry, it's 5 minutes after 5.
Yes, I know.
Sorry. Are you ready for the vote?
Yes.
All in favor? To keep the book as recommended by the committee in the location?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing one opposition, the majority voted aye to keep it, the motion passes. Any other discussion? Any other questions? Our next meeting is assigned for December 17th here at Westside. The chair will entertain a motion for adjournment.
I move we adjourn.
It has been moved and seconded. Any discussion, any questions? Are you ready for the vote? All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned, and thank you, board members, for your time.
And thank you all. I'm incredibly grateful for you. And if you would like to have one of the signs, please take one to